Well, thank you. Welcome everybody to 2025. Yeah, 2026 school year. Trustee Hope.
Wow.
I didn't know the year.
I'd like to thank and respect Simpson people whose territory we hold this meeting on today.
Thank you for that. The adoption of the agenda. So moved. Thank you, Trustee Dalton, Trustee Beal, all in favor? Wonderful. So moved. And you, Samuel, please, for our presenter. Oh, Enrique?
Madam Chair, I would like to request to move points 7.1 and 7.2 as hopefully 1.1 and 0.2. Those are related to the audit report and the and we have our Michaela Roque, the KPMG audit partner, 2% today.
Wonderful. Thank you. So we will adopt the agenda as amended?
Yep.
Wonderful. Thank you all.
Thank
Thank you, Enrique. Hello, Michaela, please.
Hi, everyone. So thank you very much for having me here. Before I start, I do want to say a huge thank you to your team. Enrique, you're amazing to work with. Thank you so much for your hard work. It's been great. I appreciate your transparency, Brittany, for all her hard work. You guys have a great team. To the board, you guys care so much, and I know you want it makes an auditor feel good when you guys want to know the right answers, and so I'm super happy to be working and continuing working with you guys. So I'm going to present the financial statements for June 30th, 2025. So I'll go through the numbers. I have it on a PowerPoint for you guys here today. Happy to have you jump in. Enrique, jump in anytime you feel.
Okay.
Okay. So as mentioned, I'm going to go through the auditor's report, and then I'll go through some financial statements, and then just some key highlights at the end to talk about some surpluses, and again, happy to take questions throughout if need be. So KPMG did for fiscal 2025. We'll be issuing a clean audit report in accordance with Section 23.1 of the Budget Transparency and Accountability Act of the Province of British Columbia. So that means that KPMG did not find any material misstatements based on our sampling and in our audit procedures performed. So it's a clean opinion that we'll be signing off if they're approved here today. So we're going to go right into the numbers here. So the statement of financial position, this is a snapshot right at June 30th. All the assets, financial assets that the school district owned. Cash and cash equivalents, this is all the bank accounts of the school districts. 13.3 million compared to 10.9 million in the previous year. At the end of the year, cash was up by about 2.3 million. You'll see shortly that there was a surplus in the year that contributed a little bit to this, but the main reason cash is up is because the payables is also up, and you'll see shortly that there was a lot of activity happening right at year end, and so some cash outflow was just waiting to be had once the invoices are received, etc. Accounts receivable, so 5 million was due from the Ministry of Education, again, all in relation to the middle school project, so you'll be hearing that quite a bit here over the next little bit. And then some other receivables as well for other funders and GST, waiting to be collected at just over $1 million. Total financial assets, 19.3 million for the school district this year, compared to 12 million, just over 12 million in the previous year. On the flip side, the school district right at year end had accounts payable and accrued liabilities, so bills and vendors that were waiting to be paid of just over 9 million compared to 3.2 million in the previous year. And as mentioned, due to the construction, there was some larger invoices at year end that were just waiting to get paid. A little bit of unearned revenue waiting to be recorded into revenue. Deferred revenue, 2.2 million compared to 2.1 million. Deferred revenue means that you guys have the revenue in the bank account, but the programs hadn't been executed yet. There are a whole various amounts that are made up of this 2.2 million. The school generated funds, community link, Eating Futures Fund, scholarships and bursaries are all lumped into that 2.2 million. So eventually, once the program's executed, the revenue will be recorded. Deferred capital revenue, 44.3 million compared to 33.3 million. Again, as mentioned, a lot of revenue coming in as well for the school. So the capital revenues sit here in the statement of financial position until such time as the assets are put into use and wear and tear is recorded in terms of an expense. And then the corresponding revenue will slowly go into revenue over time. So it just sits here as a liability until over the useful life of the asset. So this is revenue. It's not a true liability. It's just waiting to be recorded into income. Employee future benefits, 430,000. This is all sick and severance accrual. So you do, the school district uses an actuary to help calculate what that accrual will be for employees at their end of term. So asset retirement obligation, a couple years ago, this was a requirement of the school district to record an obligation for any cleanup of hazardous materials or any legal obligation they had with their tangible capital assets. The school district had made an estimate of just over 5 million is what all the cleanup costs will be for all of the schools and all the assets it owns that have any kind of legal obligation to clean up. Again, this could be over the next year, this could be 50 years from now, 100 years from now, but the obligation has to be recorded. So there's an estimate there of 5 million. In total, 61.1 million is the total financial liabilities compared to 44.1 million in the previous year. Once you take into consideration all the assets, all of the liabilities, from a financial perspective, the net debt is 41.8 million compared to 32.1 million in the previous year. As mentioned, the net debt balance looks like a significant deficit, but just please remember that there is capital revenue that eventually will come into the bottom line. It's not true debt that you have to pay out. It's just a matter of time before that revenue comes into income. And then the school district does have non-financial assets. So assets that are physical in nature that are harder to convert to cash. You'd have to actually sell these assets, which you need to be able to conduct your services as a school district. So capital this year has jumped up to 49.6 million compared to 39.2 million in the previous year. There was about 11.9 million in capital invested in the year, 8.7 million for the middle school, and 1.4 million for HVAC system in Roosevelt Park. Those are the two biggest, more expensive assets invested in this year. And amortization was 1.5 million. So it went down by 1.5 million and up by 11.9. Prepaid expenses are any expenses that are just paid in advance of when they're due. Things like insurance, etc. That'll eventually be expensed into the bottom line. 49.7 million is your non-financial assets compared to 39.4 million in the previous year. In terms of, over to you, Enrique. Yeah.
Thank you, Michaela. So, yes, I think just to give a big summary of the changes that we see in our statement of financial position, as Michaela mentioned earlier, is probably the community and city of Prince Rupert can attest on that, is because what is happening with the replacement of the middle school. So that is probably you see it firsthand. You see that many action is happening at the middle school. Preliminary works started in June, and since then has been a pretty interesting dynamic at our school district. But I just want to say that I think from my view, and again, I just started working for the school district last November, is that the middle school is what is moving all this or modifying or the financial position when you compare 2024 to 2025. Thank you.
Thank you, Enrique. We'll move over to the statement of operations. This is all the transactions that happen in just fiscal 2025, right in the middle column there. Revenue is expected from the amended budget perspective to come in at 37.5. And it came in at 38.3 million compared to 36.6 million in the previous year. Now, revenue is the biggest piece here is, of course, from the Ministry of Education, 32 million. 32.5 million is Ministry of Education funding, and that'll fluctuate in the year depending on number of students and the rates that they assign. So it did see a jump from the previous year. Expenses were expected to come in at 38.2 million, and it came in at 37.8 compared to 35.5 million in the previous year. Again, instruction is the biggest grouping of expenses in there at 29.3 million of the 37.8 million is instruction expenses. And in the year, there was cost of living allowances, there was changes in the roles and staffing. So salaries and wages definitely saw the biggest change from the previous year, but all still within budget and within expected budget. From an amended budget perspective, the school district expected a deficit in the year of 672,000. But the year in the middle there, the year ended with a surplus of 511,000 compared to just over $1 million in the previous year. We'd like to highlight that last year there was some recoveries of some past expenses incurred for the school, so the middle school. So last year you will have seen quite a change if you were to look at 23 and 22. So just a reminder there that there was just over $1 million that was recovered last year in funding. So that 511,000 surplus gets added to what we call accumulated surplus. Accumulated surplus is all gains, losses for capital and operating since inception of the school district. It moved from 7.3 million to 7.9 million this year. As well, the $511,000 surplus helps to reduce your net debt. As mentioned, it increases cash and is residual in your cash accounts. So just a reminder that 7.9 million, although it's accumulated surplus, part of it is the accounting value of what's in your capital fund. So almost 5.7 million of that 7.9 million is the value you have in capital that the school district has already expended funds for. The money's already gone. There isn't a true surplus there. It's not capital surplus. It's surplus if you were to sell it, but you're not in the business of selling schools. So this capital fund amount, the 5.7, is the value, the accounting value that you have, that you've paid internally for all of your capital assets. The true operating fund surplus this year went from 1.8 million in 2024 to 2.2 million in 2025. Over to you, Enrique. I think you're muted there.
Thank you. Thank you, Michaela. Something that I would like to point out here is the surplus for the year. Probably many of you remember that during the last months, I mentioned that one of the priorities for me was to control spending, identify the nature of our expenses, and I think part of that has been accomplished together with other factors. But that is the reason, I mentioned in previous board meetings that the numbers were looking better than amended budget, but I was still hesitant to say it aloud because I was not totally sure of the effect for the whole year. But I'm happy. I think this is a good story to say, to share, is that I believe that at the end of June 2025, the surplus has been one of the high surplus before 2024. If we remove the 1.055 recovery of expenses that was provided by the ministry, I think was probably one of the greatest ones in the last probably 5 years. So again, I think it's a result of many factors, many team members involved in this, and that's it. I just wanted to share that with the public and the trustees, of course.
Thank you, Enrique. All right, so we'll, the accumulated surplus, as mentioned, ended with 7.9 million, a large piece of it being capital. So I'm happy to take any questions, and Enrique, I know you're open for questions.
Yeah, thank you.
Question no. I'm not seeing any questions from trustees. And I would remind, this is our third chance to ask questions, and I know that we've been asking you. Trustee Pucci.
Hi there. I just help the public that's viewing tonight and maybe over the next couple of days, that even beyond that capital fund that was mentioned by Michaela and Enrique, that the amount of the 2 million, a significant portion of it is actually what's called restricted, and it can only be directed to certain types of activities. So it's not like it's a true slush fund where we can just redirect it to whatever we feel. There are a number of lines and monies there that can only go to specific styles of funding.
Targeted funding. Right, thank you, trustee Pucci. Targeted funding.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think
for that.
there's footnotes on it anyway, I believe, isn't there?
Thank you. Thank you, Michaela.
Thank you very much, everyone.
I have one more, trustee Meyer.
No, it's not a question. I was just because we have to make a motion to approve.
Yes,
correct?
Yeah.
yeah.
Is it to approve the motion?
Accept.
The audit
Or
report.
accept.
Yeah, accept. Accept.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the auditors.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Wonderful. So we have a motion to approve auditor's report, and all in favor?
You, Michaela.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michaela.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great night. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Wonderful. Now we can move back to the agenda. The approval of the minutes of the open board meeting held on June 17th. Trustee Dalton, seconded. Trustee Meyer, all in favor? Great, so moved. Necessity of the closed meeting and agenda. Trustee Beal.
4.1 through 4.9.
Thank you. Seconder. Trustee Meyer, and all in favor?
Aye.
So, thanks. 5.1, none, and 5.2 copied to the board, wishes of the board. Trustee Beal.
Receive and file 5 point, I think just 5.2.1 is the same. Just that one. Receive and file that one.
Sorry, a motion for 5.2.1.
Yes.
Wait, a seconder. Trustee Meyer, all in favor?
Aye.
And then for the remainder, wishes of the board. Trustee Beal.
Receive and file 5.2.2 through 5.2.6.
And a seconder. Trustee Meyer, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Superintendents of school report.
Thank you, Madam Chair, trustees, 6.1 is 6.1.1 is field trips on page 22 of your package. If you have any questions, I have one quick update, and that is item number 3 apparently was canceled due to an illness of one of the presenters. And 6.1.2 enrollment, trustees, a change in faces, for this, starting of this new year, and we have Carla Rourke will present on enrollment.
Could I make just a slight? Since you're doing enrollment, I think it's wrong. September 30th, 2025 through, and it's probably not you that's done this, to June 30th. I think it should be September 30th, 2024 through December 31st, 2024 for our student count and our indigenous count, and then moving into 2025, so that's on page 24, just so it's because we're,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
yeah,
Yes.
so it's clear for next time if you're
Yes.
copying and pasting. I do it, so I make that mistake quite often. I copy and paste.
I see. Apologies for that.
No, it's fine. I think we all copy and paste.
Madam Chair,
Please.
so current, you can see the enrollment for June 2025, which is outlined in the graph on page 23, and then in the table on page 24. So as of June 2025, the student count was 1,792. And I printed as of today, if you're interested in today's number. Okay, as of today, 1,799.
Oh, we gained 7. Is that relocation?
That is probably, I would imagine, going to change between now and September 29th, when the 1701 happens. So that includes students who maybe haven't been withdrawn from their schools due to moving. And then sometimes students are withdrawn because we haven't yet seen them. So a lot of effort is being made at all school sites to be reaching out to families and connecting, and we haven't seen the students to find out where they are.
Nice.
So we should have updated English for you for this next week.
Trustee Fawn, did I see?
No, you did not.
Ah, thank you. Any questions regarding enrollment? Thank you, and thank you for that.
6.1.3, Madam Chair, upcoming projects, learning, and the inevitable other. Most of our schools, of course, have started up very successfully this year. It's very exciting to see students returning and staff returning. Most of our schools have had their meet the staff open houses, and they've also been doing Terry Fox runs in the 3 weeks that we've been in class. We had a Canadian Parents for French meeting that took place at Roosevelt. We have Implementation Day, which will be coming up this Friday, September 26th at the Lester Center. We have invited Peter Bombaci. I say it right?
You got it?
Bombaci from the Genwell Foundation to speak on human connections. They will address social isolation, disconnection, and loneliness through the power of human connection. You're all invited.
Yes.
September 30th is the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. Most of our schools are honoring this day on September 29th. You'll see many of our staff and students will be wearing orange shirts. They'll be gathering and reflecting on TRC events going on in the community and what our personal responsibility is. And also there will be a number of reconciliation walks. Check the newsletters that we'll be sending you. And you're always welcome to join in. On the 30th as well, Asia's not here. Staff are invited to walk around the Salt Marsh, and that's to honor and recognize the truth and reconciliation work. And she told me that she's going to bring a couple of jugs of coffee for those who, because Yaga is closed. Yaga is closed. I'm not into plants, so. And last week we had the uncertified teacher training was held at Booth. It is really exciting to meet many of them who are in the teacher education programs. We have a variety of them going on. So that's very, very exciting. The overwhelming majority, many of them have worked for us as with us as EAs and other capacities in our schools. So it's like a lot of the faces, wait, I know you. It's very, very comforting.
Nice.
Early learning and childcare, the summer childcare program at Conrad Elementary School had 15 students attend
Wow.
consistently from July 2nd to August 15th. Wow. Welcome to kindergarten sessions occurred at all elementary schools in the first week of September, and overall participation rates for all schools was 95 to 100% attendance. The 3 before and after school programs operated by the district, which is Conrad, Pine Ridge, and Roosevelt schools, currently have 42 students enrolled. We expect that will grow. It's early. The Roots of Empathy program has expanded to 6 classrooms this year and will be offered at all elementary schools and the middle school. Port Edward Child Care Program. So as you know, we had promised that we would start looking at this, and if numbers were sufficient to run it, we would be working with the city, the district of Port Edward, yeah. And as there are currently, 9 students registered, we're getting close to where there might be enough students to run a program. And as well, we're also looking at if there's enough enrollment for a 3 to 5-year-old childcare facility in the school. It is dependent on numbers. The license for this has been amended to reflect 18 spaces for children 30 months of age to school age for that 1 classroom childcare at Port Edward. So it's in the works. ECE courses at Charles Hayes will be funded based on the 1701 count. Madam Chair, if I may, Ms. Rourke, do you have anything to add on that?
It's just a slight shift in funding because prior to this, we were under a 3-year plan where we would get the funding for ECE from a separate grant. And now we will be funded through the usual dual credit program, which is per student funding. And it won't really make a huge difference to the funding for the program.
Yeah. And the program has 20 students at Charles Hayes and 2 at PCS enrolled, which will run during semester 2.
Yay.
Other items, the replacement for Prince Rupert Middle School has reached a critical milestone. That is the actual building of the school. I was delivered into my hot little hands the building permit that will be displayed proudly in the window of
Parking
the
lot.
building office. Yeah. But it is very exciting that now that we've assembled 99% of the land and that one building, that now we've been given permission to no longer dig down. We're now going to be building up. So we built a lot of holes, filling them with concrete, and now we'll put in the first part of the patio and foundation. Thank you. And then we'll be able to move upward. Sorry. This is a school, remember, for 600 students in grades 6 to 8. It is very, very exciting. We have started discussions about the Learning Commons. We've had many consultations with staff, librarians, library technicians, about how to accommodate the current book collection we have and how we'll fit it in the Learning Commons, but also we need to have students in it. So it brings new challenges. But you have to be able to have classes come in and still have room to have students who are, doing perhaps independent study coming to the library from their classroom to look up something with our high-speed internet. Staff have been consulted on a variety of spaces. The next step is going to be on the wall texture and paint colors, which the board has also had some input on that. We did receive some interesting news about, which colors will be available based on some of the samples that I believe are here in this room at the very back. That some of the paint samples that you saw may no longer be available. So we're working with the architectural firm to ensure that that color of red or black for the outside
Hopefully it would be orange.
is available. And there'll be more on that when the architects will be coming back up in November to meet with you to further discuss and to also meet with members of staff. We're also moving on something that I didn't know I would be involved in so many of these things. The technology decisions that are being made now are, they're asking for our input. Of course, we'll have high-speed internet, we will have, I was gonna say ubiquitous wireless, but I don't know what we're buying, but we will have, where it's available all over the place, there's a word for it. Wireless, but also we have to look at the networking cabling. We have to look at-
Wideband, fiber optics.
Yeah, well, we are.
We
looking-
know what we're having.
We will have fiber optic backbone so that
Okay.
between what are called the interconnect communication closets will be very, very fast so that kids could actually do experiments on the
Nice.
speed of light. It's very exciting stuff. We also, where I'm involved is because I was the director of information technology, like my colleague. We need to identify each of the rooms on the charts you see, the maps on the wall, and tell them where will new equipment go and where will stuff be brought over from the current school. It's a lot of work, but obviously they're asking us, well, on which wall will the Hikvision or whatever the current one is. And remember, when I was tech, smart boards were everything, and now they went under. So you probably don't want me. You want to ask Kinchin more what to transfer. But it is exciting. It's coming along. We also started to reach out to the community to discuss the use of the buildings on evenings and weekends. This is a community school. It was designed as a community school from the start. And when I assumed the superintendency, when I met with the Ministry of Education, the building branch, it was made clear to them that this school is not going to sit empty at 4 o'clock. There will be groups using it from the community. The gym will be available. The gym will be available for bookings, but also the learning commons and the common areas. We have many people like authors in this town who would like to do readings from the books that they're working on. They can make that space will be available to them. I know that there are some media outlets that have looked for bigger spaces than the public library, and we have big spaces. And as you know, during All Native, the gym will be booked probably every night for practice. Next, the attached, not attached to this, the attached neighborhood learning center. So as you know, when you've been working on the design, there is that building right beside the gymnasium, and it is called the Neighborhood Learning Center, or NLC. I'll refer to it as the NLC. The NLC, when we applied for the funding, initially it was to use it for before and after school care. By the time this gets built, we will have that opportunity to look at it and say, well, what is the pressing need in the community? Likely childcare, but we can use it for childcare or daycare during the day, but also use it for before and after school care. The current capacity will be 54 students. Not as big as our new center that where the architects are here today looking at the site for the childcare center that will go beside, proposed to go beside Lehane Elementary. Madam Chair, if I may, I know it's late, but if we could just have Kevin talk for a minute about the architect, and you walked the property today to get some.
Yes, they're very impressed of the amount of land to physically see it. It's relatively level. They're talking about having a parking lot kind of where our existing tennis court is. So we have to design so we can kind of make a loop, drop off, have the parking lot there. I think, Andrew, for the board office, we're gonna make it bigger so we have overflow for a board office in there. And we're just designing the fences, and we might have to relocate a little bit of the field, their soccer. But yeah, their design, their layout looks really good. So we're just kind of working on that to present it to the board. Their color scheme, everything is, it's like buying a car, you look in a book and you buy it, right? So a really good job.
Great, thank you. The proposed opening date for the PRMS and the NLC, the Neighborhood Learning Space, is September 1 of 2027, which means we would be moving equipment from the old school during the summer so that it is ready for our students 1st of September. And when the students move in, we will obviously have a a large opening and a feast, and there'll be lots of excitement on that. And then they will start the demolition of the old school because that will become the parking lot for the school. So parking will continue to be relatively tight in that area. But that's the price of getting a brand new school. Madam Chair, that's all I have in my report.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew.
Any questions for Andrew? Please, trustee Dalton.
I don't know if I heard correctly, you say that the library, the new library will not be housing as many books as we have in the old library?
Madam Chair, the trustee Dalton, the plan is to get them all in, but also ensure that there's space for kids to come in. As you know, the old library is very small, and we're trying to accommodate the books, but also have room for computers and other digital devices, but also provide meeting spaces where small groups can meet and talk and not interfere with the rest of the function of the library.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Andrew? No. That's wonderful. Thank you very much for your report. Secretary Treasurer Report 7.1, I believe we've done, 7.2 we've done, and 7.3.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Great.
No, yeah, I'm passing it on, Claire. Thank you. And please,
Thank you, Madam Chair. So 7.2, the audit findings report, you can find the actual report on page 71. This report has been already presented in the Finance and Building Committee. And I guess I will open the floor in case the Board of Trustees has any question.
Not seeing any.
Okay. So 7.3 is capital by law. As mentioned in the Finance and Building meeting, I have been asked by the Ministry of Infrastructure to amend the previous capital by law related to the 25-26 minor capital projects, since a new bus has been approved for our school district. That is a good news. Some characteristics of the bus are 64 passenger capacity with a wheelchair lift, diesel with a cost including taxes of $220,000. Page 106 includes the 25-26 amended capital by law, which would need to be read and adopted by this board. So if you can help me.
Thank you. I'll pass that to trustee Meyer.
I'm always reading.
Read it.
Okay, Janet told me I didn't have to read the whole thing. There's a paragraph I don't have to read.
None of it.
Good. All right. Capital bylaw number 2025-26, BPSD 5202, capital plan 2025-26. Whereas in accordance with section 142 of the School Act, the Board of Education of School District number 52 Prince Rupert, hereinafter called the Board, has submitted a capital plan to the Minister of Education, hereinafter called the Minister. And the Minister has approved the capital plan or has approved a capital plan with modifications. Now, therefore, the Board has enacted the following. Number 1, the capital bylaw of the Board for the 2025-26 capital plan as approved by the Minister to include the supportive capital projects specified in the letter addressed to the Secretary Treasurer and the Superintendent dated May 15th, 2025 is hereby adopted. 2, this capital bylaw may be cited as School District number 52 Prince Rupert, capital bylaw number 2025/26, CPSD 52-02. Read a first time on the 23rd day of September 2025.
Seconded trustee.
Oh, I'd like
Please.
to make a motion that all 3 readings and adoption be done first. That's the legal way.
Thank you.
Copy and paste my reading.
Second, and
Yeah.
the second, what I just,
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And
now you read
all
it.
in
Now you
favor?
read
So I
it.
just-
All in favor?
Yeah, and she's read the
Thank
first
you.
one. I'll second the reading.
Great. And all in favor of the first reading?
Yes, I just.
Aye.
Thank you.
Read a second time, the 23rd day of September 2025.
trustee Sanchez. That's all in favor? Thank you.
Aye.
And read a third time past the, read a third time past the 23rd day of September 2025.
Seconded trustee Dalton. Thank you. And all in favor and moved. Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you. So we can move to points 7.4. On page 108, you will find the 25-26 annual program funding agreement. It's the amendment actually to be signed by me as a result of the addition of the boss. I will open the floor for the trustees in case of any question.
I have a question.
Please, trustee Beal.
Well, I did have a question, but it's been amended since I looked at it originally. It was with Westview School.
No, I think that's the capital.
Oh, sorry.
We're on page 108.
Okay, I have no question on this, Enrique. Sorry,
We're on page 108, correct? Yes.
107. Yeah. Somehow, I got too many papers going in here.
Okay. So, okay, point 7.5, 26-27 minor capital plan. So to 7.5. On page 116, you will find the recommended 26-27 minor capital projects to submit to the ministry. These projects have been discussed at the Finance and Building Committee. I will open the floor to the trustees in case of any questions. We also have our acting director of operations, Kevin, for further clarification.
Any questions? We're on page 116. 116.
I said 26.
I got it right now.
Not seeing any questions?
Okay. So now I will request the board the approval of the proposed capital plan shown on page 117.
117. This.
Oh, sorry. It's a little.
So you would
backwards
like
there.
a motion? For
Yes,
this? Wonderful. Wishes of the board.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Seconder to that motion?
Mike.
Trustee Dalton. Trustee Dalton, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Thank you. Page 1, please, Enrique.
Okay, 7.6. 7.6 is 26-27 major capital projects. Okay, this one is the capital plan for the major projects. This was presented to the Finance and Building Committee as well. So I will open the floor for the trustees in case they have any questions. So it's page 118.
Any questions for the board? This was discussed at Finance and Building. Page 118.
Well, mine's 117. So this is a minor capital. It's projected requested.
No, major.
No, major.
It's major.
Got it.
Oh, good. This is the first time I've ever seen this format, so I'm kind of confused.
Now, I remind trustees that we're not in conversation. We're at the,
Well, I'm asking a question. I'm confused. This is the first time I've actually ever seen it done like this in 18 years I've been here. It's very little detail in here, so I need to understand what it represents. I mean, and Ricky, is there any type of numbers behind this?
Actually, I'm following the same presentation that was done last year. As based on the information I received, is the ministry has already entered these two schools to be replaced at some point in time. These two schools meaning Conrad and Pine Ridge. Yes.
Can I follow up with that? I understand that. But it's been a long time since the ministry's provided us with that data. And things actually have changed. So I'm just curious if they given you any number indication because of everything that's happened. Like the last time I saw the upgrade of Conrad and Pine Ridge was like 5-6 years ago. So I just curious. I mean, it is what it is, and we'll just wait. Obviously, we're not proceeding with this anytime soon. So I just was curious.
No, thank you for the question. So let me give you a little bit more context. I discussed this in the Finance and Building Committee, but probably I should also mention this, provide this information. So this plan should have been submitted by the end of June 30th. But I was not aware that in the past, at least last year, these two schools were included as major capital replacement. Doesn't mean that it's going to happen pretty soon. So what happens is I receive a phone call from the Ministry of Infrastructure on June 30th saying, hey, just to let you know that we already have these two schools in the system. It would be nice for your school district, and if you get the approval from the trustees to keep doing that. Again, doesn't mean that will happen, but it's important to have them in the system, in the ministry system. So I think it's a, it would be a really good thing to receive from the ministry, a replacement of two new schools at some point in the future. So that's the reason I'm presenting this capital bylaw to the board.
Thank you, Enrique. Trustee Pucci.
I'm very comfortable. I understand that the ministry is making no promises. This is just a queue or a list for, it's not even a queue because it doesn't actually have priority, but it's a list that indicates that these two schools need to be at least identified. And I'm comfortable in making a motion to support the bylaw. I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Trustee Pucci. Seconder to that motion, Trustee Meyer. All in favor? Wonderful. So moved. Thank you. Enrique.
Thank you. Point 7.7, Executive Compensation Disclosure Report. You will find that report on page 120. I will open the floor to the trustees in case they have any questions.
Any questions? Please, Trustee Meyer.
Just, are we approving this, or does this just for information and it automatically gets put up on our website? I can't remember.
It's just a disclosure. It's a so.
Yes, it's just a disclosure. This information will be submitted to the ministry.
Thank you.
But it's not a resolution required.
And a motion is not needed.
No.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Any questions before we move on? Wonderful. Not seeing any. Please, Enrique.
Thank you. Point 7.8 is the operations department reports for June, July, and August. Those were included on starting on page 129. I will open the floor for the trustees in case they have any questions.
Thank you. Trustee Horn.
I want to thank Kevin and the staff of the operations department.
And we congratulated him this evening for his new.
Please, I'll remind trustees to be acknowledged by the chair. Trustee Horn.
For the work it took to prep all of our schools over the summer and get them ready for our students this coming school year. So thank you for your department and for yourself. Thank you.
Any questions? Comment? Thank you. Enrique?
Well, if you allow me, Madam Chair, I also would like to recognize the work done so far by Kevin, our acting director of operations. I can confirm in how many projects he have been working on, how many hours he have been spending on these projects. We're working together and on trying to improve many of the facilities. And you know what? It's really it's a good experience working with Kevin, and I just would like to recognize that and thank Kevin for his hard work during these months.
Thank you, Enrique.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. Okay, now let's move to point 7.9. June to August 2025 Information Technology Department report. I will open the floor to the trustees in case they have any questions on the information provided on page 132.
Wonderful, trustee Horn.
I'd like to thank Kinchin and just all of the IT staff for the work they've done to get our schools ready for the learning. And I'm really glad that the laserfish has been migrated. I remember using those when I was in school, and that's a long time ago.
Yes, now it's migrated into the cloud, so.
Bye-bye, right?
It's man.
Thank you.
That's it, Madam Chair.
Wonderful, and I would just like to comment at our in-camera prior to this meeting, each trustee has acknowledged how much work this team is doing. And they each have stated how grateful they are for you. And I know that trustee Beal was sharing that as well, that we hold our hands up to you and huge accolades for all that you do. And we see the work through the summer. So thank you. Please, Enrique.
That's it, Madam Chair, with my report.
Thank you very much for your report. Committee reports, finance and building. I think
We've
everything
done
has
it
been
all.
covered.
Yeah. Well done.
Wonderful.
Actually, it hasn't.
Okay, please.
It hasn't. No, it hasn't.
Oh.
Because I'm bringing back minor capital
All right, please.
because it was missed. I just, and just because I think it's important for the audience and anyone that reads this online understands the makeup of why we have certain things on here for minor capital, which is i.e. Westview. Because we have a proposal for $1.266 million, $609,000, right? And so it's for an HVAC. And I just need Enrique to enlighten me here, why would we be spending that kind of money on Westview that is not an operational school? So we have clarification, please, and thank you.
Thank you for that. Please, Enrique.
Yes, so thank you for the question. We had a conversation on the Finance and Building Committee about these projects. First of all, it's important to mention that we have different funds that we receive from the ministry. This one, the one for minor capital projects, is actually a separate fund. This is not the operating fund. So actually, is money that we receive aside the operating funds. So the idea of this minor capital is hopefully it's like AFG, annual facility grant. Hopefully, the more money we receive for capital projects, the more can we do for the facilities at our school district. So having said that, is what we're asking or what we're proposing here doesn't mean that we're going to receive the money from the ministry. As we know, the ministry is in a situation where they don't have a lot of money. However, the needs that the school district has are significant. Now, going back to your specific questions, which I believe was the HVAC upgrade for, sorry, just confirm, is the Westview or the Roosevelt?
Westview.
Okay, so Westview is a site that, as you know, right now is not in operation. We are receiving just a little bit of leasing revenue for that site. Apparently, there are some people in the public, some organizations that are interested in leasing this facility. If we are able to get this money, which again is just a request to the ministry, is money that we do not need to take from the operations fund, okay, to do this. Is if we get that money, is for a specific purpose, which is Westview, and then At some point, and I have mentioned this in the past, is maybe I'm thinking about the replacement of Conrad or the replacement of Pine Ridge. What would happen if we use Westview, if we're able to do that? And I heard I received some information last week that I was not aware. But what would happen if we can use for some period of time this facility, meanwhile we are replacing the other schools? So again, this is part of a wish list to the ministry. Maybe that they don't provide the funding. There is just a small opportunity that we receive that. So hopefully this information helps to understand why I'm proposing to include this project in minor capital project for next year.
Please.
And I understand that, but just for further clarification, when we discussed this at finance and building, I asked this question because might want to jump in, but we can't use the facility for a school because it's not seismic safe. And Mike actually enlightened me that under the commercial regulations, we don't have to follow the same rules that the school district or that the provincial government. Is that correct?
Trustee Pucci?
It's that the school, so as operating as a school, so you still have to, so the threshold for a school is slightly higher than it is for a commercial building.
Okay, I just wanted clarification because when people see this on here, it maybe gives them false hope, right? So I just want the public to, the transparency is the best way to go, right? We can use it for other things, but we can't use it for a school until we actually do the necessary improvements.
So this, like I'll reiterate, the
Thank-
HVAC wouldn't contribute to the seismic concerns for a school.
Thank you.
And I would just ask, has your
It's
been
done.
answered?
Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you so much. Now we can move 8.2, framework for enhanced student learning,
No meeting, Bill.
provincial council.
Next meeting is virtual, coming up in October.
Wonderful, thank you. And policy committee, I will pass this to trustee Meyer, who gets to read some more.
Yeah, so we have our meeting minutes on page 134, and we're bringing forth policy for approval 8.4.2.1, policy 6320, superintendent of schools, CEO roles and responsibility, and it's on page 135.
Please.
This was in internal policy, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Am I allowed to make that motion?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna
Yes.
make the motion to approve the policy.
And I'll second it.
Wonderful. And any questions from any trustees?
I already read it, so
Wonderful. And all in favor?
Aye.
Wonderful. Thank you.
And then I'd also like to make a motion to approve policy 1370, physical restraint and seclusion policy, page 140.
And this policy went out for
Yeah, this
Went out
partners.
to partner groups,
Yes,
yes.
thank you.
was there any feedback?
No.
So
I
made that
seconded to that motion.
I'll second it.
Trustee Beal? All in favor? Wonderful.
Aye.
So moved. Oh, a question, sorry, please.
It's probably self-explanatory, but on C, it says the safety of all involved. Should I be assuming we're talking about student and teachers and outside staff, and so that's
Correct,
everybody?
correct.
Includes
Trustee
it,
Dalton.
right?
It's all staff, including visitors to our schools.
Okay, that's why I was going there. All involved.
Thank you. So we have a motion on the floor, all in favor?
Aye.
We have no policies for review this month, however, we did talk at the during our meeting to say that, we're gonna be pumping them out. of hopefully
And
2 to 3
also,
more.
Would you care to speak to 5120 and why we won't be sending that out at this,
Which one is 5120?
the naming policy?
Oh, the naming policy, we are going to be doing a working session on, we just felt like we didn't have enough time to put all our thoughts together, so it should be out for review next month.
Thank you. Thank you, trustee Meyer. And District Technology Steering Committee, trustee Warren.
No meeting was up.
Thank you. Old business? Don't know the one. Okay.
I was encouraging, Madam Chair, trustee Horn, I was encouraging my esteemed colleague to Paramjit Kara to have a technology steering committee meeting. Evil eye. So like, come on.
You feeling coming soon?
Yeah. Sorry.
You are great. Thank you. Old business?
None.
New business?
None.
Information items, as was shared by Superintendent Samuel, this Friday is Implementation Day. Tuesday next week is the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, and as was shared, there's many walks and events happening in our community, and I encourage you to see where those are and partake. Thanksgiving is Monday, October 13th, and the next board meeting is October 21st, and I'm sending my regrets now, and trustee Meyer will be chairing that meeting. So 10-minute question and answer period. Any questions connected to the agenda are welcome. Going once for questions. Twice. Not seeing any. I thank you all so much for your time on another beautiful evening that we missed. So thank you for coming and welcome September and have a lovely evening. You're adjourned. Oh, a question, please.
No, from the audience.
She asked.
I asked.
Nobody wanted to today.
Have a lovely evening. Thank you, everybody. We are adjourned.